Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again at 840, another game review. Today, very excited to check out Monopoly Deal, the card game from the Parker Bros. And Hasbro. This is for 2 to 5 players, ages 8 plus. It'll take about 15 minutes to play. And in Monopoly Deal, you're going to be playing a card game version of Monopoly, where you're going to be trying to get 3 sets of properties. But is it good? Probably not, because everyone hates Monopoly, right? Well, actually, I kind of enjoy Monopoly. What? Don't tell anybody. But is the game good? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Monopoly Deal, the card game. So first and foremost, we're going to handy dandy rule sheet. Overall, it's about 1 page, double-sided, full color, full pictures, illustrations, and examples, and it's pretty well done. It could be just a little bit better. I wish it would hold your hand just a little bit more, but it's still pretty well done. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, and I can teach you how to play the game right now because it is a pretty simple game. So in Monopoly Deal, the card game, you're going to be trying to get 3 sets of properties, a la regular Monopoly, where you're going to be collecting so all the greens, all the oranges, all the blues, all the reds, so on and so forth. But along the way, there are going to be wild properties and hotels and houses and all sorts of special ability cards and stuff that you are used to and not so used to when it comes to Monopoly. So first and foremost, we'll go over the components, then we'll get into the gameplay itself. We got a handy-dandy little quick start rules and then a essential rules card on the back. This little cheat sheet card, it will help you. It's very useful, and everyone's going to have one of those in front of them, so big thumbs up on that. So when you first start the game, you're going to shuffle up the cards, and then each player is going to get 5 of these cards. Then you're going to put the deck in the middle of the table. On your turn, what are you going to do? Well, it's very simple. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take 2 cards into your hand, and then you're going to play up to 3 of your cards. So there's a couple different things that you can do with your hand. First thing is, you can take some of your money cards and you can play them in front of you. Because later on in the game, you are going to need money. People are going to charge you rent and do various other different things. Maybe they have a birthday coming up, which means you're going to need money. So playing money in front of you is always a great idea. So that's the first option you can do. That could be one of the 3 actions, or the 3 cards you can play in front of you on your turn, is to play money in front of you. Next, you can lay down one of your property cards that you have in front of you. This one right now, we have a very special property card. It's a property wild card, so it can be used either as a green or as a black. It cannot be both, but it is still a wild card, which is really kind of unique. And then we have Illinois Avenue. Now, one thing I've not mentioned to you yet is there are a lot of special ability cards in this deck. We'll go over a couple of them later, but there are cards that will allow others to steal properties from you. So laying down that wild card right now might not be the best idea. So we'll go ahead and we'll lay down this Illinois Avenue right now. Now, unlike normal Monopoly, it is absolutely free to play this card. Now, I know you're saying, Bauer, there's a $3 million right here. That's because you can use this to pay other people in the future. You don't have to do that, but sometimes you will have to do that. Now, the final action you can do is to play an action card. So let's see, I got a couple action cards in my hand. I can play this one. Action card, pass go, draw 2 extra cards, play into the center to use. That is not really the best card to play right now, because it's my 3rd action, so I'll do this debt collector. Force any player to pay you $5 million. So you would just lay down this card, bada boom, and someone else has to pay you $5 million. And they put it right down here, and you would continue on your merry way. So let's see if we can find a $5 million, and we'll do, yeah. So this guy has a 3 and a 1, and we'll just call that 5. Now, an example that is really good right here is, let's just say that that person only had $4 million, but they also had a property. That would mean that they would have to give us their property to pay that $5 million. So when someone plays a card on you, can be very important. Also, you might notice that that would equal $7 million instead of $5 million. This game does not give any change whatsoever. So if you have to pay $1 million and all you have is $10 million in front of you, you have to pay the $10 million. Very unfortunate. So that would be the end of our turn, and we would make sure we don't have 7 cards, and then we would be done. And then it would come back to us when we draw 2 cards. Likewise, we rinse, wash, and repeat. Now, if there's ever a circumstance where you have 0 cards, then you immediately draw 5 cards So it is in your benefit to play as many of the cards in front of you as you can. But anywho, you're going to continue to do this until someone has 3 sets of properties in front of them, complete full sets. And it will tell you how much a full set is. So for instance, on the red, if you're not familiar with Monopoly, then you need 3 of the red in front of you, and that will be a full set. Well, let's go over some of the other cards in the game so you can get a feel for a little bit of the flavor of the game. So we'll go to the back of the handy little cheat card. So first, there's a slide deal card, which is going to allow you to steal a property from any other player and add it to your property collection. However, you cannot steal a card from a set. You have the force deal, swap another property card with one from your property collection. So the steal one is just, the slide deal is going to allow you to steal one. The force deal is going to allow you to trade one. Either way, it's a useful card. Next, we have the Deal Breaker, a very, very powerful card which will allow you to steal a full set of properties. Yes, that means you'll be able to steal one of these full sets right here. The only thing that blocks it is a Just Say No card, but your opponent can also play a Just Say No on top of your Just Say No. Next, you got the Debt Collector. Use this card to demand $5 million. We played that one. You're also going to see a lot of rent cards in there. The rent cards are interesting how they work. I'll show you right now. So rent. All players pay you the rent for properties you own in one of these 2 colors. So this is a great card if you have green or blue. However, if you don't have green or blue, this is kind of a little bit of a useless card. There's also some houses in there. Add on to any full set you add to add $3 million to the rent. So for instance, if you had a full set of blue and you added a house to your blue, then you could play this card and get a lot of money from people, which could also turn into a lot of properties. But there's also a lot of other wonky cards in there that will change how you play the game and keep you on your toes consistently. But anywho, you're going to keep going until someone on their turn has 3 full sets of properties. Once they've claimed those 3 full sets of properties, they will be the winner of the game. And that, in a nutshell, is how Monopoly Deal is played. Alrighty then, Monopoly Deal, the card game from the Parker Bros. What are my final thoughts? Let's go to the pros, let's go to the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody. It's a very light game. It's very simple and has a lot of randomness and has a lot of random luckiness. If you draw the right cards at the right times, there's a good chance you will win the game. The card that I'm going to talk about primarily is the Deal Breaker card, and it's just too powerful in my humble opinion. It lets you steal a complete set of properties from someone else, and it's unblockable unless you have a Just Say No card, and there's not that many cards in the deck. So it's just a card that gets you a set of properties that someone has been working and working and working and striving for. This card, if you get this card, it's just like, boom, that's mine. I'm just taking this. It'd be like if you were playing a worker placement game and you've been working and your whole strategy was just formulated around getting all your workers, your glorious workers, onto the table, and then someone played a card and said, oh, I got to take 4 of your workers. It's essentially, that's exactly what happens here. So it's just a little bit too powerful, and it really kind of ruins the game. I played a game of this, and someone had 2 of those in their hand, and he literally just held onto those cards the entire game. And he was not doing well all game. He was not doing well all game. He was not doing well all game. It was just deal breaker, flip the table, mic drop, and it's just too powerful in this game. Also, I feel like if you are a well-established gamer, to play games a lot of different, diverse games, this one might not be for you, because it definitely is on the lighter side, which is going to turn some people off. I don't know about Monopoly fans. I actually didn't play this with any people who were newer gamers who like Monopoly. I did play it with some casual gateway gamers who don't play too many other games. Ticket to Ride is pretty much the other one they've tried out, and they enjoyed this, but that's more on the pro side. Any other cons I have of this, the rules could be just a teeny-weeny bit better. They're not bad, but I feel like they're just like an extra 3 sentences away from being good. It's somewhere in the middle. It could be better, could be worse. Oh, last but not least, the cards. The cards are really freaking stiff. I played like 10 games of this, and they are still just ridiculously hard to shuffle. I don't know if they're made out of plutonium or steel or what's going on with the cards. I mean, it's nice that they're nice, sturdy cards, but still, they're a little bit difficult to shuffle. Moving on to the pros, though, I was trying to poke holes in this game. I really can. It's a pretty solid, surprisingly solid game. Monopoly Deal, the card game, is what you want from Monopoly if you like Monopoly, but without all the other crap. It really is. It's quick, it's compact, it's easy to learn, it's easy to teach. The rules I wish were a little bit better. But I had a lot of fun with this game. 2 players, 3 players, 4 players were all good. 5 players stretched out just a little bit longer than I would have liked, but it still was not bad by any stretch of the imagination. And I feel like this is a great game for people who are non-gamers. If you routinely have a family who likes to get together and play games, but they like to play the Sorries, the Scrabbles, the Monopolies, this is a great one to introduce them to it, because it really, at its core, is a simple set collection game. But where the fun of the game comes out is with all those little special cards. Like you have the wild cards, and you have the sly deals, and the force deals. You got the deal breakers, the nurse say no's, the it's my birthdays. You get all these special ability cards that come into play. And aside from the deal breaker, none of them are too powerful for the game. And the deal breaker, even I dog on the deal breaker in the cons, but honestly, I like it a little bit because I feel like the audience that this game was going for is going to enjoy that card. They like that swinginess, that, oh yeah, you're in the lead? Guess what? Now I'm in the lead. Big time, bro. I feel like this audience really likes that kind of card, and I actually do enjoy the card, but it is extremely powerful. And if you're looking at this as a game night type of game or something like that, it's way too powerful for those kind of circumstances. But other than that, it's a perfectly serviceable, fun game that I surprisingly, yeah, you're probably a little bit surprised, recommend. If you play with a lot of casual gamers, if you play with a lot of people who don't normally play these sort of games, or if you're playing with Monopoly fans, I think they're going to get a kick out of this, and you will not want to pull your hair out, which is the best part of this whole thing. So Monopoly Deal, the card game. Not too shabby indeed. Who would have guessed that? If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know if you could purchase any Fortune 500 company. Which one would it be? What would you like to be in control of? For me personally, I would like to take control of a cell phone company, and I would like to drive it into the ground by just charging rock bottom prices, because you know what? That would completely shatter the entire cell phone service industry, because no one could compete. Like if I took over Verizon and I just charged $15 a month flat rate, and I offered that to like every single country in the world, no one else could compete. All the other companies would get shut down, and then I would eventually go out of business, and just anarchy would reign, and there'd be complete terror, and it'd be awesome. But I don't know why I want the world to have anarchy, but I do. What Fortune 500 company would you take over? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.